I need to say something that sounds crazy. I'm only 19 years old and made nearly $150,000 last year all by myself, but sometimes I still feel like I'm behind in life. It's not all day and it's not every day, but it hits me. And if you're watching this right now, chances are that you probably feel behind in life sometimes too. But here's the hard truth. You are not behind in life, you're just measuring yourself based on someone else's scoreboard. Most people aren't behind in life, they're just watching too many other people live. Because every single time you scroll on your phone, your brain quietly asks, why am I not there? Why am I not doing that? What am I doing with my life? And if you do that long enough, you start feeling guilty for just existing. Now, let me be real. You probably look at me and think that I'm ahead. I mean, I'm only 19 years old and I'm making more than my parents make per year doing something that I love to do. I'm on top of the world, right? Well, honestly, yeah, I am very grateful for the position that I'm in. However, you don't see the nights where I'm super stressed out after trying to manage being a student athlete in college while also running a successful business that I started from the ground up. And that's why I'm making this video, because if I could feel behind while I'm doing quote unquote well, then this feeling clearly isn't about your situation. It's about what you're using to measure your life. Here's the truth that nobody wants to say. Feeling behind is what happens when you measure your life using someone else's scoreboard. And that scoreboard is rigged. Because when you're scrolling on your phone and you see their highlights, you're comparing that to your whole life. Of course you're gonna lose that comparison because you're supposed to. Everyone thinks the fix is to catch up. More money, better body, better grades, better job, whatever. But here's the scary part. Even when you catch up, your brain doesn't stop. It just changes the target that you're aiming for. And I know this because I lived through it. The very first day of my college classes my freshman year was the first day that I got monetized on YouTube, and I vividly remember thinking to myself, if I could just make a couple $100s a month from YouTube, I'll finally be able to relax. However, once I started making more than just a few $100s a month, my brain wanted more. At first, it was like, okay, cool, now let's just make it bigger. And then it was like, alright, now we need to make it consistent. And nowadays, it's turning into something like, prove you could do it again next year. And now that I'm looking back at it all, I'm starting to realize that I'm not taking the time to enjoy the process because I'm so focused on the future. And that's not ambition, that's anxiety pretending to be ambition. Now, if you're at all feeling in a similar way that I am and you don't fix it, you could hit every goal you've ever wanted in life and still feel like you're losing. And that's where people get it twisted. They think feeling behind means they need to push harder, but half the time, feeling behind is just a sign that your brain is addicted to comparison. So here's the fix to it. It's really not that deep, it's not motivational, it's just practical. Step 1, pick one scoreboard for the next 30 days. Not 10 goals, just one. Because if you pick 10 goals, you'll fail all 10 and you'll hate yourself even more. That's what most people do. So pick the one thing where, if it improved, your life would feel lighter. For some people, it's gonna be making money because money stress makes everything heavier. For some people, it's gonna be fitness because they don't feel confident in their own body. And for some people, it's gonna be content or grades or learning a skill or whatever you want. And here's a blunt rule to follow. If you don't know what scoreboard to pick the one that you find yourself avoiding the most. Usually that's the one that you actually need to focus on. And no, this doesn't mean you stop caring about everything else. It just means for 30 days straight, you choose one lane and stop scattering all your energy. Step number 2 is to create a daily win that you can't argue with. Small, measurable, and repeatable. Because right now, your brain is telling you that you're behind because you're not giving your brain any evidence that you're moving forward. So we're gonna give it some evidence every single day. Whether that's 45 minutes learning a new skill, or 30 minutes in the gym, or just being consistent and posting to social media every day, whatever it is you want to do, don't make it heroic, make it realistic. If you tell yourself, I'm gonna grind 4 hours a day, you'll do it for 3 days, burn out, and probably feel worse. At that point, you're not getting anywhere. So you need to start out slow and do something that you can complete even on a bad day. For me, this is basically what content was. It wasn't make a masterpiece every single day, it was more so just get my reps in. I knew that I had something special with my content, but I just didn't know how to package it in the very beginning. Some days a video was great, some days it was mid, but the win was that I posted. I improved one thing and I kept the momentum going. And after a long time of being consistently bad and learning from my mistakes, I eventually became consistently good and started to see some traction. That's how confidence is built. Not from thinking about your future, from stacking proof and getting your reps in. And now we're on to step 3, which is no scrolling until the daily win is done. Yeah, I know that sounds dramatic, but this is literally the cheat code. Because comparison before output equals failure. If you scroll first, you start the day feeling behind, and then you try to build your life from a place of insecurity. So from now on, you need to earn your scroll. Complete your daily win first, and then you could go on your phone. And here's what's actually crazy. If you genuinely do this for 30 days straight, something is gonna shift shift in your life, because you finally are getting proof. Not motivation, not some hype feeling, just proof. You start to build momentum, you start to stack wins, and you can literally feel your life moving again. And once you finally feel that in your life, that I'm behind feeling gets quieter and quieter because you're not guessing anymore, you could see it. And honestly, that's exactly how I got my results online. Not because I'm some genius, I'm definitely not. I just did the reps. I stopped waiting for the perfect time, I stopped waiting to feel confident first, because I used to think confidence came first and then you take action, but it's actually the complete opposite. If you take action first, then your confidence is gonna show up later like, oh, we can actually do this? Cool. Now overall, there are still days where I feel behind, but now that I know what to do when that feeling pops up, I don't start to spiral, I don't start comparing my life to someone else's highlight reel, and I don't start planning some imaginary future life in my head. I just focus on my one win of the day, because one real win shuts up all the noise in my head. So again, if you're feeling behind in life right now, don't panic. You're not broken, you're not failing, you're just using the wrong scoreboard and you're consuming too much of other people's lives. Pick one scoreboard, pick one daily win, and give yourself 30 days. And if you want me to help out with your journey, comment the number 30 and tell me what scoreboard you're choosing, whether that's money, fitness, content, school, whatever. I'll help you find your daily win that's realistic and something that actually moves you forward. And that's pretty much it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and a nice comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.